Welcome, runners, to episode 2 of the Great American 5000 Recap Show presented by Buddy. I'm your host, Casey Baum. So it's been 3 days since the race started, and we're already seeing some great results. Here are your top 5 leaders as of Tuesday evening, June 16th. Coming in at number 5 is Team Sea to Shining Sea with 426.7 miles. At number 4 is Team Derechos, featuring professional marathoner and ultramarathoner Michael Wardian. More on that in a second. Coming in at 431.6 miles. Coming in at number 3 is Team 011235813245589144233776109. That's the name of their team. They've completed 470.8 miles. In second place is Team The Loose Cannons with 562.3 miles. And rounding out the top spot is Team Mashingo Masia Track Club at 574.9 miles. Every single one of these runners is absolutely crushing it so far. It looks like most of the teams in the top 20 right now are in the state of Nevada, with the Loose Cannons and Team Mashingo Masia Track Club closing in on Utah. There you have it with the leaderboard. Now, on today's episode, I am honored to have Michael Wardian joining us. For those of you who don't know who Michael Wardian is, and honestly, you should, here is a list of just a few things that he's accomplished. In April of this year, he won the Quarantine Backyard Ultra by running 262 miles in 63 hours, the fastest time for 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. Yeah. The fastest marathon dressed as Spider-Man and Elvis. Not at the same time, I don't think. And my personal favorite, since I was following it as it happened, in 2019, Michael clocked the fastest known time on the Israel National Trail, where he ran 631 miles in 10 days, 16 hours, and 36 minutes. That's like 60 some miles a day in super rough terrain. Here he is, Michael Wardian. For anyone who is sort of new to the ultra running scene and community, do you mind just kind of introducing yourself?
Yeah, not at all. My name is Michael Wardian. I'm a professional marathon and ultra marathon runner, and I am 46 years old, and I live in Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside Washington, D.C. For, people, since it is virtual, it could be people all around the world. They might not know where we're located.
Yeah, and we're located down in Richmond, Virginia, so we're just a few hours away from you. Thanks for taking the time to hop on today. Before we jump into the Great American 5000, I know you had a big feat that you accomplished back in April, which was the Quarantine Backyard Ultra, which you won in 63 hours, running 262 miles. What was that experience like, and how does that compare to other ultra marathons you've done in the past?
It was an amazing experience. I kind of jumped in it really last minute. Um, my big goal for this year was actually to to run across the country. So, I had some good fitness. So, it was an opportunity to kind of see, what that would look like if you're, trying to run those kind of ridiculous distances like 60, 70 miles a day. Like in 2019, I ran across the Israeli National Trail, the entire country of Israel. And so,
Yep.
like, I had a good feel for, like, what it would mean to run for 10 days, but, running across the US is, quite a bit bigger than Israel. So,
Yeah.
I was excited, like, to do the Quarantine Backyard Ultra. And it was a different kind of format than I've ever run before. It was, you run 4.167 miles every hour on the hour
Mm-hmm.
until there's only one person left. And so my friends have been, and some sponsors have been like, hey, you should do this. This seems like it'd be, something that you would kind of excel at, but it just had never fit into my plans with everything else I had going on. And since everything was shut down, I was like, I was going to do a fastest known time, which is kind of like a self-directed thing, running all the Washington, D.C. boundary stones that weekend anyhow. And it would have been maybe 65, 70 miles. And I thought, well, I can do that anytime. And I actually just did it like 2 weeks ago, which was awesome. But I jumped into the Quarantine Backyard Ultra, and it was pretty awesome because it was kind of the real first big virtual event that kind of caught everyone's attention, because there was actually really nothing going on at that point in time. And
Hmm.
it was an opportunity to kind of get together with people. Like, I was really missing the running community, and it was a really cool thing, because you checked in every hour. And I think it started out with like 24 or 2,500 people all around the world. So, there's people like running in saunas, there's people like running in coffee shops in New Zealand, and, around, like, I ran around my block,
Right.
I ran, I think at this point during quarantine, I've actually run around my point 0.4 mile block over 1,500 times or something. So, like,
That's
my
definitely a
neighbors are
record.
always like, "Hey, are you doing another race?" So, it's pretty cool. Like, I actually have seen people when I did another quarantine backyard race actually this past weekend, which was a kind of a similar format, except every hour it got faster. So you had a half hour to run 2.1 miles, and then every hour it cut down by a minute. So by the end, we were running like 5:40 pace,
Mm.
like 18 hours in. But but it was around the same block. So, my neighbors are very familiar with seeing me out there. But it's also
Right.
become kind of like this cult thing in the area, where like runners will come and like do the loop, and then, like, leave the neighborhood. So actually, while I was doing the race, there was like 2 or 3 runners that were just like coming out to check out the loop, which was cool.
That's awesome. For the Great American 5,000, you're on Team Doritos. Is that how you pronounce it?
Derecho, it's like
Doritos?
the weather, yeah, the weather pattern. And I think that
Okay.
my friend's like really into meteorology, and so he was actually saying I think they usually move west to east, and they're pretty aggressive and fast.
Ah, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so that was kind of his thinking
Nice.
behind it. I was like, dude, Phil, that's a good name. Let's do that.
Well, I was checking out the leaderboard earlier today. Looks like you guys went from fifth to fourth, right above Sea to Shining Sea.
Ooh,
Um,
that's a good name too. Yes.
yeah, yeah. I'm on team Big Apple or Bust. So, but
Ooh, I
we're
like
not.
that name too.
What do you think? Are you guys going for the gold, top of the podium?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's pretty awesome because we kind of just open it up to anyone. So it's not like a professional team. There's
Hmm.
people from all different backgrounds. And, I'm being super lazy the last couple days because I just ran 80 miles on Saturday and Sunday mornings. But this weekend, I'm going to be running to all the district tacos in the DC area, which there's like
Okay.
11 locations. And that'll be a little bit over 65, 70 miles or so. So I'll get us back. Hopefully we can crank out some big miles. I think we were actually kind of limited, and I think some of the other teams are too, by, you can only run so many miles in 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we had like a team planning session like on Sunday night, and so yeah, we have like a Google Doc with everyone's information in it, and like
Mhm.
how when they're gonna run. So yeah, we're taking it pretty serious. I mean, but we're there's not a bunch of pros on the team, but everyone's committed, and yeah, we would like to, do really well in the event.
How do you feel about virtual events versus, kind of the real in-person events?
Oh, I've been, an early adopter on the virtual events. I've been doing them for maybe 2 or 3 years. I was like the virtual run ambassador for the New York City Marathon, and I've done a bunch of other kind of virtual things. So I think they're pretty awesome. I think it's a great way to, keep people motivated, to bring people together, to be part of the community, and it gives us a chance to, kind of bond while, we're physically separated, but we can still, come together and do these things. And I know for me it's been cool to just see how much harder I'm able to push myself when I know, like I'm doing this really cool virtual one also with a group called Boston Buddies, which is like a NCAA tournament, and each week you run a 5K against somebody, and then it cuts down. And so like
Mhm.
I'm moving on to the final four this week after like a month, and I know I'm just hammering myself. So I ran like 80 miles on Saturday and Sunday, and then, did a hard 5K Monday morning just to, kind
Wow.
of keep going. And I was not, if I wasn't in a virtual, event against other competition, I probably would have, just done some easy miles. So
Yeah.
I think for me it's like keeping me super motivated, keeping me fit, keeping me active, keeping me engaged. And it's fun. Like I love the innovation that I've seen. Like, the Great American 5,000 is a great example of that. Like it's super clever. Like the emails you get to see, like we got one this morning. It said like, welcome to Nevada. Like
Yeah.
here's, watch out for like rattlesnakes. And like, if you were running, you would see this and this and this. And I think that's great because, I have a big sense of adventure, and this kind of like gives me a little bit of that.
Yeah, for sure. Any words of encouragement or advice for the rest of the runners running in this race?
The biggest thing is that I would suggest is, really engage with your team. Or if you're, I don't know if, there's a lot of people doing it individually, but, have a big why, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, I think that's something that is cool about the team aspect of it is, like today, I just said to the team, like, hey, I don't really feel like doing any miles, but I'll make it up to you. And like, especially if you're on a team, like if you can try to coordinate, and if someone's really feeling good and they want to do some big miles, then that just makes it easier for everyone else. And
Hmm.
running is kind of an individual sport, but this is a chance to kind of use the community to do something pretty incredible. But
Yeah,
watch out, man, we're coming for you, so don't be too lazy. Like tomorrow I'll be back.
you guys will be back for sure. It's gonna be a good fight there up at the top of the leaderboard. Thanks, Mike, so much for joining us. We're big fans. Best of luck to your team during this Great American 5,000. Thanks for joining the recap show here.
Oh, thanks very much for having me. And yeah, I look forward to coming back and talking to you guys again and seeing where we end up.
For sure.
So we're in Nevada now, but hopefully next time we talk, we'll be closer to NYC.
Many thanks to Michael Wardian for joining us, and thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you can get all of the updates on the leaderboard for the Great American 5,000. I'm Casey Baum with Buddy, and until next time, stay fearless out there.